First of all, I just want to say thank you to everybody in the room for what you do. I know a lot of times the work that you do is a thankless job, but we do appreciate everything that you do for your communities and in your positions. Basically, my name's Randy Burnside. I am the Public Relations Manager at the West Virginia Lottery. I've been there for about 8 years. We take responsible gaming very seriously and problem gambling very seriously. And I think that the folks over at First Choice do a great job, a fantastic job in that area. And, we work as hard as we can to help with everything that you do, to support and so forth. So I'm going to just basically give you a brief overview. A lot of this is probably what you already know. There's nothing in here that is like new or not already been reported in the news and things like that. So basically, as you all know, we now have become the 5th state in the United States to offer sports betting. The Charlestown Races Casino Sportsbook had a soft open at the end of August, and their actual grand opening was September 1st. And obviously, we're following Mississippi, New Jersey, Delaware, and Nevada based on the Supreme Court ruling that has allowed for this type of gaming in the United States on a state-by-state basis. Our legislature was very forward-looking and passed legislation prior to the Supreme Court decision that allowed us to be in this position to begin offering sports books as quickly as we have been. All right, as of right now, we have 5 casinos in the state of West Virginia, as you know. As of right now, the sport book at Charlestown Hollywood Casino is operational, and the one at the Greenbrier Resort is operational. The others have not come online yet. That will be later on. Hollywood opened on September 1st, the Greenbrier on September 15th, and Wheeling Island and Mardi Gras, which are both owned by Delaware North. We're looking at a late September open, but that's been pushed back. So we're still TBA on that. And to date, the Mountaineer Casino and Racetrack in Chester has not even applied for a license to do sports betting yet. So that's TBA. Obviously, the mission of the lottery is to operate in a socially responsible manner with the highest standards of integrity and security to generate revenue for the people of West Virginia. Since the lottery began in 1986, we have generated more than $10 billion in proceeds for the people of West Virginia. Much of that has gone to education. A lot of that has gone to senior service programs, and a lot of that has gone to help fund our tourism industry. When you look at the impact that the lottery has in the state, it's pretty significant. The School Building Authority, for instance, when they issue bonds to build new schools in our counties or make repairs to schools, all of that is backed by lottery funds, okay? That's what makes that possible. $29 million a year that go to help support the Promise Scholarship Program are directly from lottery proceeds to help. To date, it's been more than 55,000 of our best and brightest students have the opportunity to go to college without the burden of debt from that. You look at some of the other services. Personally, my grandmother, who's 88 years old, lives in Putnam County. She's able to stay in her home because she has meals delivered to her every day from her local senior center. That is another area where the legislature uses lottery funds to provide those types of services. So it literally touches all 55 counties. Our state park system, tourism receives a significant portion of lottery dollars each year that help go into the improvement of our state parks, advertising for tourism industry items and so forth that help generate economic impact in our communities. In addition to the School Building Authority, lottery money also goes into things like higher ed improvement bonds. Each of our colleges and universities benefit from that. The Department of Education, computers in the classroom in all 55 counties, that's funded through lottery dollars as well. there's so many different areas that the state budget uses lottery proceeds that it would take me, honestly, about an hour to go over everything, but that's just a few of those. In-home services, food programs, nutrition programs for our seniors, transportation programs for our seniors to get to doctors. All of that is backed by lottery dollars. So that is why we exist. That's why we have a lottery, is to provide that funding for those much needed programs. And if we did not have a lottery, then we are either paying more in taxes to provide those services, or we're going without them. Okay, I'm just going to give a brief overview about our commitment to responsible gaming, and it's something that we've obviously had in place since the lottery began. Each year, we provide up to $2 million a year in revenues to help fund the compulsive gambling program with the folks at First Choice. And that funding last fiscal year, I believe, was $1.4 million from lottery proceeds. Since we started operations in January of 1986, we obviously published the odds of winning prizes and how to get help if you have a problem. And since 2000, obviously, the 1-800 Problem Gamblers helpline number is printed on all of our materials and point-of-sale materials. It's something else that we put in advertisements, our marketing materials, and we have a compulsive gambling section on our website, which actually sends you to the professionals that deal with that. We put it on our ticket stock, television, radio spots, digital displays, and even on video lottery terminals. And we also participate in the holiday awareness program. Okay, the recently passed sports betting law contains the same responsible gaming messages that we utilize in all of our other forms of gaming. And it even provides for the protection of patrons placing wagers and the promotion of social responsibility, responsible gaming, and the inclusion of the following statement. If you or someone has a problem with gambling and wants help, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. And it's going to be in every approved designated area where sports wagering is allowed at the sports books, and on all of the mobile applications and the digital platforms that will be placed. That's actually codified. Okay. We have guidelines into our advertising and marketing, which we strictly only advertise our traditional lottery games. We do not advertise limited video lottery. We do not advertise our casinos. Those entities, such as the casinos, are on their own for their marketing. We do approve their messages to make sure that they comply with our overall rules and regulations. However, we do not spend advertising dollars in those areas. The only place the lottery spends advertising dollars is on games like Powerball, Mega Millions, and your instant scratch-off tickets. Okay, the stickers we have on all of our video terminal banks and each row of LVL machines, Problem Gamblers help information and literature that's placed at all of our facilities. That's at the LVL level and at the racetrack and casinos. We have a self-exclusion list. Obviously, if someone has a problem, they can go to the individual casino or to the lottery and put themselves on our statewide exclusion list. And then that means they have no access to any of the facilities. Age verification. Now, this is something very important that is different in our law than some of the other states. Our casinos are going to have mobile apps, okay? Eventually, and this is still coming, it's going to be months away before this happens, but each of our facilities will have their own app where if someone comes into the state of West Virginia, it will be geo-fenced to our geographical boundary. They will be able to create an account with that casino and place wagers through their phone anywhere in West Virginia. They will not have to be in the casino, okay? Now, obviously, with that, I've mentioned our advertising program and how we stay away from targeting minors, of course, and all those issues with that, and we're extending that into everything else that we do. We make it a priority when we set up our new retailers and enforcing the message with our retailers to always card people at the store level with instant tickets, anything else. And obviously, our casinos have to make sure that no one under the age of 21 gets onto their gaming floors. Okay, we've talked about the responsible gaming messages that I went over. Sports wagering and the mobile application has several safeguards that are going to be in there that each facility will have. Okay. Okay. Now the apps are going to vary by brand, and there are none of them yet. So this is all me speaking about what's being developed by the different casinos. But there will be deposit limits. When someone creates an account, you can set a daily, weekly, or monthly limit that will prevent you from being able to deposit more than that specified amount. There will be a wager limit that can be set daily, weekly, or monthly, which will prevent someone from being able to wager more than that specified amount during a period. And there's also going to be time limits built in to where people can limit the amount of time per day that they're able to use the app. Okay. The apps will also feature self-exclusion buttons and a timeout button, okay, which someone can self-exclude from their app. That account will be closed for a minimum of 12 months and cannot be reactivated under that year on that exclusion period, unlike the standard account closure request. So that will cut them off for a year from that. And a cooling off period will be available with the timeout function on most of these apps, where instead of the you can do a self-suspension instead of the self-exclusion. That gives you a 72-hour timeout where you can't log in and use it. Obviously, each of the properties are responsible for developing this into their apps, and then we will test them before they're allowed to be used. And of course, it also has to have the geofencing. It cannot be used outside of the state of West Virginia. Now, New Jersey, I believe, already has apps, and as does Nevada, but they are geofenced inside the actual casino property. Okay, obviously, since 1986, things have changed. The legislature has granted more and more expansion of gaming and programs. And we've also upped our efforts in responsible gaming over that time. You know, we encourage every employee and retailer in their training to be aware of the signs of potential problem gambling and treatment referral programs available, and hopes that anyone that needs it will get it. Besides helping fund the compulsive gambling programs and research, the lottery is reaching out in June Somerville in our legal division is the main contact for this. She always looks out to see if there's any trends or issues concerning certain products and so forth that we need to examine at the lottery. Okay, now obviously our mission is to raise revenue for good causes like education, seniors, veterans, college scholarships, tourism. You know, we have to do so in a responsible manner, and it's something that we take very seriously. We do emphasize responsible play. And, you know, we obviously want a lot of people to play a little, not a few to play a lot. And, you know, we don't want to be successful on the backs of people who may have a problem. All right, so that's basically what we've prepared for you. But I just want to reiterate as we move forward, the different facilities at Charlestown, Wheeling Island, Mardi Gras, and the Greenbrier all do a great job and take underage play and problem gambling very seriously. We do have our exclusion lists. I have personally, I'm with our promotions teams a lot when we'll go out into the field, and I've seen people where I've identified I think they may have a problem, and I've asked them to stop playing, and I've handed them literature before in the past. So it's something that we teach within our agency. It's something that we look for, and it's something that we do take very seriously. And we do appreciate all of you at First Choice for what you do. And I'm very proud of our system. I think we have a model program in West Virginia. where lottery proceeds fund everything that it does, not just the helpline, but treatment and help as well. So I don't know of many other states that have that, but I think ours is an excellent system. And with that, I'll try to answer any questions you might have if there are questions. I do not know a whole lot, but I will try.
On the mobile apps that you were discussing that are being developed, the self-exclusions within the app for amount of time, amount of betting per day or whatever, those are not mandatory for getting an account, correct?
There could be. I'm not aware, but each facility will be able to do that if they choose to. There's no mandate that they have to, but a company like Penn National or Delaware North might decide, okay, this is the cap that we're going to put here, those sorts of things. So they can do that.
And the secondary, you may, and I know this as well, as far as if someone does set a limit, then what are the parameters for changing it?
I don't know. I do not know. That's still, these are all hypothetical. They haven't been launched yet. They haven't been tested yet. So anything I would say would be a guess on that. Yes, sir.
And this may be something that we're not sure of yet, but what's the process for checking a person's age?
There is an age verification process. I'm not 100% sure what that's going to look like. Obviously, you're going to have a birth date, but I think it's a little bit more intensive than that. So there is that functionality to it. But again, we haven't seen an app yet to test it from one of the tracks.
But you expect something more than just what's your birthday, it's this.
Right. It will be standard. I think if you look at New Jersey and Nevada, what they're using, it will be that same standard.
Which is what? I'm sorry.
I don't know. Yes.
Is there any plan to move outside of professional sports betting?
Actually, the collegiate sports betting, is that what you're referring to? Yes, that's allowed under the law in any sport. Any sport. I know that in the first weekend at Charlestown, the most bet on event was the West Virginia-Tennessee football game.
Just to follow up on the age verification in other states, I think they're looking at the account information from the bank as well. They're sort of teamed with the bank, yes, so that you can't just put into your phone that you're of age. It actually goes through what you have, your account information through your bank, which you really obviously aren't relying on that.
Right.
I think that might be the direction that it ends up.
I think that's the industry standard now, and that's how it will be. Yes, sir.
Do you all know an approximate date when the apps will probably be launched?
No, they're months out. Last that I heard, the first that might have it would be the Delaware North facilities, which would be Mardi Gras and Cross Lanes and Wheeling Island. And they were hoping to have their app available when they open their retail sports books, which would be next month. So that could be this soon. Now, I believe what we're going to see at first is there'll be a soft open with those sorts of things, and it may be limited just to the facility until the geofencing is completed that needs to be done along the state boundaries in certain areas and so forth. So it might be a year or more before the apps really come into play.
Is the way the funding of programs works is the lottery says to the legislature, we have this much income for the year, and the legislature decides how to appropriate it?
Sort of. But by law, certain lines of gaming sometimes have, by statute, certain funding sources. For instance, the racetrack casinos, when they pay their fee to offer table games of $1 million a year, that goes directly to the Bureau of Senior Services. Lottery literally takes the check, transfers it directly there. There are other areas that are percentages, but we basically have the lottery fund, and then we have the excess lottery fund. When certain lines of gaming and the lottery meets projections like it's supposed to, That money goes into the Access Lottery Fund, which the legislature can do more things with, whereas the lottery fund is more set up to direct funding to different areas. If you go online to wvlottery.com, look at our comprehensive annual report and our progress reports, and you can see, I think, the last 10 years there, and you'll get an idea of where lottery dollars go and how the legislature uses it. Okay, it really goes to a lot of different areas. I know I have talked to thousands of people over the last 8 years who don't realize, you know, where this is coming from. I talked to one of our seniors in Mon County not too long ago who called and said, you know, I see your commercials that say you help seniors, but you don't do anything for me. And I said, well, do you get the property tax exemption? And he said, yeah. I said, well, that's offset by lottery dollars. That's how the state offers that. Oh, I didn't know that. Are you on Medicare or Medicaid? And, you know, the state uses lottery funds to match dollars there. Do you use this service at your senior center? And so we talked for about 30 minutes. And by the end of the conversation, the man was thanking me for all the things that those lottery dollars go to. But, you know, I'm a West Virginia native. I grew up in Putnam County. I know I mentioned my grandmother earlier. I also have 2 kids in Putnam County schools. So it's important to me what we do. And when we spend every dollar that we do for marketing, we think about, okay, is this going to help produce more meals for our seniors? Is this going to help our schools, you know? Or is this going to be a waste of money that doesn't have the return on investment that we need? You know, that's how we think. And one of the things I'm very proud of, coming from the general population, and I'd never played the lottery before I worked at the lottery, and now I can't play the lottery, so I've never, you know, never had that happen. So I do see people who win, you know, they do win, and we pay out just on the instant games, just so you know, anywhere between $6.5 and $9 million a month in winnings. You know, those people take that money and they go buy a car, or they go buy meals, they go shopping. You know, that helps stimulate the economy too when people are winning money. But when I got to the lottery, it shocked me, all of the safeguards that are in place and the emphasis on integrity to make sure that everything is right and that the rules are followed, and how much the lottery benefits each person. Because I had no idea. You know, my kids went to Connor Street Elementary School in Hurricane, and because of SBA funding made possible by the lottery, they no longer have portable classrooms, you know, things like that. So it does affect everybody, and it is all 55 counties. I've had people call from almost every county in my 8 years, and they'll say, how have you helped me in Berkeley County? How have you helped me in Raleigh County? And I'll go look at that SBA list, and I'm amazed at what the school building authority's been able to do, because they'll take, you know, $25–30 million from lottery and turn it into $150 million through the bond process. And then that's how they build schools and fix things. So that's where we're at there. Any more questions? All right. Well, thank you all for what you do. We greatly appreciate you. Okay. And thanks so much.